Hi there, welcome to Tune In Yaya. Joni here to offer you a class on grounding today. So we'll go through a small flow and we'll have a lot of focus in our class today on being able to ground in the poses that we practice. And so let's get started. I'm going to tell you to get into a comfortable seat. Allow yourself to cross the legs if that feels good. If not, you can take the legs further apart from each other. You can sit in a chair to do this if that works better. So find whatever works best for you today and allow yourself to really root down through the bottom of those sits bones. If you are sitting on a chair, you will root down through the sits bones, through the bottom of the feet. Allow yourself to be mindful here as you work to align the shoulders over the hips, the ears over the shoulders, and reach the crown of the head towards the sky as you push the sit bones down to the earth. Allowing yourself to breathe in and out through the nose. Now, if you're not sitting outside, allow yourself to visualize a comfortable place outside. We're working on grounding, connecting back to the earth. Allow yourselves to visualize that, or if you are outside, allow yourselves to really pay attention to your surroundings. If the wind is blowing, if the sun is shining, if you can feel grass or pebbles underneath your tush. Then from here, I want you to imagine that each inhale, you are breathing energy in from the ground. Imagine the molten lava center, the magma center of the Earth's core. And with each inhale, you are pulling in and up through the body that warmth, that strength, that stability. With each exhale, you are rooting down. You are allowing that energy to flow back into the earth so that it can be replenished, creating roots from those sits bones, from the bottom of the feet, from the bottom of the thighs, so that with each inhale, you pull in more energy, you find more growth, more length through the spine, more space to grow into. We'll take 2 more deep breaths here, inhaling through the nose. Exhale. Inhale. And then as you exhale, let your head fall to that left shoulder and forward, slowly coming all the way around. Inhale, bringing the head back up. Exhale to the right shoulder and forward. Again, all the way around and back up. Grabbing onto the front of the shins, let yourself roll to the back side of those sits bones. Then pull forward, drawing the shoulders down and back, maybe looking up towards the sky. Exhale, roll back for 2. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, roll back for 3. Inhale, pull forward. And then come back to center. Press the hands down beside the hips. Reach the right arm up to the sky and exhale over to the left. As you reach over to the left, root down through that right sit bone. Squeeze into that left side body to find more length in that right side body. Make sure that left shoulder is nice and soft. 1 more deep inhale. And exhale. Slowly come all the way back up, drawing that right arm down, left arm to reach. Exhale over to the right. Inhale. And exhale. Remember to root down through that left sit bone. Soften that right shoulder. One more. Inhale, come back up. And we're going to exhale as we twist to the left. So nice gentle twist here. That right hand can come to the center. It can come to the top of that left leg, your choice. That right hand can come to the beside the body or a little bit further towards the back and the between the sit bones, right? Allowing yourself to look over that left shoulder if that feels good today. One more deep inhale. And then exhale to the opposite direction. 3 full breaths here. Exhale, 1. Exhale, 2. And then exhale, coming back to center, right? We're going to lengthen those legs all the way out in front of us, all right? Coming into our staff pose. So in grounding here and getting the full effect, knowing that you don't have to focus on it all at once. So don't let yourself get intimidated, but allow yourself to think that you can work with it as you learn how the pose feels, right? And that's going to be kind of the same thing in all of the poses that we go through. Allow yourself to focus on what works today. Don't try to focus on every single little thing because you will get more in tune with that flow of energy with each of those poses and how it affects you and how you can ground yourself more in each pose. So from here, we're trying to set tall. Be mindful that whenever you're setting tall, you're trying to align those shoulders over the hips. A lot of times people will kind of sit with their sits bones a little bit tucked in, right? So try to bend those knees if you need to so you can find that nice getting on the tips of those sits bones feelings. A great way to kind of help you get there is to sit in Dandasana. So from here, we take the bottom of the feet, we push them out in front of us. We take the heels, we press them firmly down to the ground, and you want to put energy in the bottom of the feet like you're trying to separate them. Now, this just helps to stabilize the bottom of those sit bones further back and really help to stabilize and engage the legs. So allow yourself to pay attention to that. Try to keep the toes up towards the sky, pushing back towards you. Right, so from there, we take the hands down beside the hips. You may need blocks here. If your hands can't reach the ground very comfortably because your torso is longer, then allow yourself to take a block underneath you. It's okay to keep those elbows soft here. You want to press firmly into the bottom of the hands. You do want those elbows to be soft, and you want to slightly take the hands as though you're trying to scrub them to the outside of the mat. This will draw the shoulder blades a little bit closer together, and this will also help to create a nice expanded chest so that you can breathe deeply in and out through the nose. Reach the crown of the head up, right? And then we're going to practice that same breath that we pulled in through our easy pose that we started class with. So think about rooting down through the sits bones, the shoulders align, the ears align, the crown of the head reaches up. And then with each inhale, allow yourself to pull energy in and up. With each exhale, allow that energy to go back down so that you can replenish. With each inhale, we find more space, more lift in the spine. And with each exhale, we find more roots. Bottom of the heels, back of the calves, back of the thighs. As we try to root down through the bottoms of the sits bones, imagining those roots growing deeper and deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Don't forget those roots going down through the bottom of, the bottom of those hands. Each little finger. Inhale. And release. Now, after holding Dandasana a lot of times, people will notice their sit bones a little heavier on the mat. It will feel a little bit more comfortable. Also, be mindful that it's okay if you feel like you're getting a little cramped to shake it out a little bit. You do not have to hold it for the full 5 breaths. Go ahead and shake out the legs a little, and then get yourself resituated. Get nice and tall. Take the arms out and up, And then we're going to exhale as we hinge forward, shins, ankles, toes. Find which one works best today. Do be mindful of trying to keep a nice long back first, trying not to let the back round out just yet, okay? From here, you can grab on to the tops of the legs, the tops of the shins, the front of the tops of the toes, and figure out which of those works best for you, and then pull back towards your body. Notice how this draws the shoulder blades back again, and it helps to keep that chest expanded so you can find more breath. Now inhale, toes turning up, heels pressing down, sits bones still grounded. Exhale, reach through the crown of the head. And then taking in that mindfulness, that nice grounding breath. Inhale, finding more space through the torso. Exhale, sending all that energy back down, finding those roots, finding that stability. 3 more deep breaths. Inhale, maybe you find a little bit more space. Exhale. 2 more. Exhale. And 1 more. And then you can relax into it, y'all. Go ahead and let the back round out if that feels good. Maybe play with those feet. Let them kind of shake out a little bit if that feels good, right? Your practice. You get to figure out what your body wants. Just pay attention to that grounding today. Just pay attention to that breath, all right? Slowly come all the way back up. We're going to bring the bottom of the feet together now for our bound angle. Bottom of the feet are pressing together. The heels are pulling in towards the body and the knees are squeezing down to the mat. So those are the 3 actions of the lower torso. So when you pull the heels into the body, you're flexing the knees. So try not to use the hands necessarily to pull the heels in, but instead allow yourself to find where those feet come for you without having to grab onto them and pull them in. And then use that energy, use that pulling motion, pulling the heels back towards the body to flex those knees to give you that energy in the pose, right? And then press the bottom of the feet together. When you press the bottom of the feet together, you're going to feel those knees lift up a little bit, those inner thighs engage. Then you're going to squeeze the knees down. And when you squeeze the knees down, you're going to feel the outside of those tushes. Say, okay, what are you trying to do? You're trying to open them up. You're trying to open up those hips. It's good, right? So allow yourself to pay attention to all 3 of those as you set up tall. Root down. And don't worry about having to hold each one super strong, but allow yourself to go through that cycle. As you once again align, try to align the shoulders over the hips, the ears over the shoulders, crown of the head to reach up, and then pulling in with those heels, squeezing down with those knees, pressing in with the bottom of those feet. Exhale. Breathing in through the earth. Exhaling back down, finding those roots. Breathing in to find more space, more calm, more support. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, releasing those legs and folding forward. Remember to keep that long back first. We're relaxing the legs a little bit more here. You can even take those hands to the inside of the thighs and gently press down if that feels good. And then you can let the back round out. Maybe find those forearms. If they don't come all the way to the ground, maybe you use a couple blocks. Maybe you use a big pillow. Maybe you use the couch that's sitting next to you. So many options for props, y'all. Slowly coming all the way back up. And now we're going to take the legs out nice and wide. Now, you don't have to have a block today. I'm not saying that you have to have a block today, but the exercise that we're going to do here, you might like using a block for it. So if you are going to, you're going to place a block on the inside of that left leg, okay? And you don't have to, like I said, because you don't have to worry about trying to lift up over that block if you don't have it. So maybe don't do it if you're kind of worried, especially after we go through what we're doing. All right, so nice wide leg foundation. Toes are up to the sky, heels are pressing down, sits bones are pressing down. Remember, those knees are slightly soft. And the energy that we give to the bottom of those feet or the bottom of those heels is that we're trying to take the legs further apart from each other. This is going to help stabilize those sits bones. So come closer and together if it feels like that's a little bit too much, right? And allow yourself to sit tall here. So again, we get long. We're going to take those hands down beside the hips, and we're going to try to utilize our core muscles, staying strong and long in the back, to lift up that left leg. Now notice when you try to lift up that left leg, you might try to go back into those sits bones and find a little bit of lift there. Try not to let that happen. It is going to be a challenge. Don't necessarily worry about lifting the heel of the foot up yet. Allow yourself to build up to that if that's what's available. If you have built up to that, then you can work towards coming up and over that block. But again, trying not to let yourself roll back into it, but instead staying tall and strong through the body. So first and foremost, take those hands down beside the hips, reaching the crown of the head up, and root down, right? We're going to take 5 deep breaths here. So it's almost like our Dandasana again, because we're pressing those palms out. We're taking the bottom of the toes to reach up to the sky, and the heels pressing down to the ground, the bottom of the feet really reaching out. Crown of the head really reaching up. And breathing deeply. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Rooting down. Finding space. Inhale. Exhale, 4. And one more. Exhale, release a little. Shake out the legs a little if you need here. Now we're going to go through the process. We are going to do 5 cycles on each side. So we're going to try to lift up and bring it to center, and then lift up and bring it back out. All right. If you get a cramp, that's totally okay. Maybe massage that quadricep a little bit to help, and maybe go ahead and bow out of this if it feels like it's too much. That's okay too, right? You just go ahead and go into that forward fold we're going to find in a moment. We're going to do 4 more coming up, and then back, and 3, and back, 4, and back, and 5, and back. All right. Opposite side, getting long, finding that stability, up and center, and back. Remember that block can go in if you want a little bit more of a challenge. 3, and back, 4, and back, and 5, and back. Woo. Sitting nice and tall, arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Again, shins, ankles, toes, or thighs, shins, toes, whatever feels good. Try to keep the back long. Remember, you're trying to draw those shoulders down and back and reach through the crown of the head. Root down through the bottom of those sits bones, the back of those legs. Inhale to find space. Exhale to find more stability, rooting down deeper. One more deep inhale. And exhale, slowly come down further. Remember, you can try to find those forearms. You can rest those forearms on a couch or a chair or some blocks. Your options here. And let those legs kind of flail out if that feels good. Your practice. All right, slowly come all the way back up. And we are going to come all the way to a standing position today, coming into our mountain pose. Rooting down through those feet. Spreading out the toes, getting yourself grounded. All 4 corners. We're going to come out and up with the arms, and out and down. 2 more times, just like that. Out and up. Out and down. And out and up. And out and down. All right. Really getting grounded in our mountain pose. We're going to take 5 deep breaths here. So spreading out the toes, rooting down through all 4 corners. You're going to take energy into the bottom of the feet. Remember, those legs are going to be hip width apart, but energy in the bottom of the feet is going to be like you're trying to separate those legs. So allow yourself to think about that as you're standing tall and strong, right? You don't want to lock the knees, but you do want to stand tall and strong. I think I just said that exact same thing. And so pay attention to those knees. You kind of want to keep them a little bit soft. Pay attention to the tailbone because sometimes we stick our tush out. We don't necessarily mean to, but draw the tailbone down, pull the belly in so you can find that alignment here. Then shoulders over the hips. Again, ears over the shoulders. Crown of the head reaching up, right? And then we're rooting down with each exhale, finding more roots, going deeper into the earth. Reaching up through the crown of the head. With each inhale, we find more space, more length. Breathing in and out through the nose. And one more deep inhale. And exhale, release those legs a little. Shake it out a little. Notice how the body feels, right? So now we're going to come here and we are going to come into a sun salutation. So first, find your footing. You want to be in your mountain pose. You want to be super grounded before you go forward, before you try to step back. So allow yourselves to get strong here. Take a nice deep inhale as we come out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long back. Exhale, plank. Stepping one foot back and then the other, or stepping both of those feet back by hopping. Plank position to chaturanga. Inhale to lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, one. You can nod the head here. You can shake the head here. Exhale, two. And then exhale, softening those knees. Inhale, step the feet forward. Walk the hands to meet the feet if you need to. Forward fold. And then inhale, forward and up. And exhale, back to center. We'll do that 2 more times. Deep inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long back. Remember, you can hop back. Exhale. And then chaturanga. You can always come to those knees here. Inhale, lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, one. Inhale. Exhale, two. Inhale. Exhale, soften those knees. Inhale, step or hop those feet forward. And dial to those legs. Inhale, forward and up. And back to center. We'll do that all 1 more time. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, long back. Exhale, plank position. Chaturanga. Inhale, lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. One more deep inhale. And soften those knees. From all the way down to the mat. And push all the way into your child's pose. Slowly walk the arms to the left. And slowly walk the arms to the right. Slowly come back to center, bringing yourself up to your tabletop. We're going to go through 3 cat-cow breaths here. Nice deep inhale, head up, belly down. Exhale, pull the belly in, roll the sits bones towards the heels. 2 more, deep inhale, head up, belly down. Exhale, 2. Inhale, head up, belly down. Exhale, 3. Coming back to center, we'll tuck those toes in and we'll find downward facing dog again. This time we're going to work a little bit deeper and finding a little bit more grounding. You'll be able to utilize the tools here the next time you do the class, each time you come into your sun salutation. So I want you to think about the palms of the hands and trying to draw them closer together, right? This is going to soften those elbows and help to create more space in the shoulder sockets as we are trying to extend those arms way up over the head, right? Press into the bottom of the balls of the feet. Even if you can get those heels down, doesn't necessarily mean that you need to, because sometimes we do that and it ends up tucking our tailbone down. And we really want to try not to let that happen whenever we're in our practice, okay? So let yourself think about that. Let me get my shirt tucked in, okay? And so from here, I'm pressing into the balls of the feet. And I'm pressing the balls of the feet more towards the back of the mat. So I'm actually trying to keep those hips lifted. And I can, you can bring those heels down, but if the heels coming down makes the tailbone draw down, then try not to let that happen. Remember to press that energy into the palms of the hands and then to push back. Push the balls of the feet back. And make sure that that head can shake, right? Deep inhale. Finding more space, more lift through those hips, more lengthening in the arms with each exhale, more grounding, rooting down through, especially the balls of those feet, the palms of those hands as you draw them a little closer together. Inhale, finding more space. Exhale, more grounding. Inhale, more space. And then exhale, come all the way back to child's pose, right? Take those palms to face up. Those downward facing dogs can be quite a challenge, especially for beginners. So be mindful that it's okay for you to take a break. And this is a great tool for you to practice to get better at your downward facing dog, to get that strength, to help learn how to use that energy for yourself. Slowly come back up, and this time we're going to come into that plank position. So if you're building into a plank, if coming all the way up is a little bit too challenging, then go ahead and stay on those knees, especially until I get through discussing or elaborating all of these special cues to help you build a stronger foundation here, because it might be a little bit too much to try to hold it all the way up, right? So in our plank pose, we try to pull the palms of the hands back towards the knees. Okay? We try to pull the knees back towards the palms of the hands. And we soften those elbows, right? And we let those hips stay in line with the shoulders. So I'm tucking my tailbone towards the heels of my feet and really pulling that belly button in. Now, I don't want to tuck too much, right? Because if I tuck too much, then it's going to be a little bit too hard to try to pull those bottoms of the hands towards the knees and the knees towards the bottoms of the hands. The shoulders stay down away from the ears. Again, those elbows stay soft. If you feel good, we're going to take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale. Thinking about finding more space. Lengthen the spine. Lengthen the legs. We squeeze the back of those legs up. Exhale, find more grounding. Drawing the bottom of those feet towards the palms of the hands or the balls of those feet. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, push it back. Allow yourself to relax here. Deep inhale and deep exhale as you pay attention to that energy you just created. If you find that as you're building this awareness of your body and its capabilities, that it's stressing out those wrists a little bit, go ahead and take those palms to face up to the sky. Wiggle out the fingers. Give yourself a break, right? You don't have to try to do it all at once. coming back up. So our the next thing that we're going to be doing here is our chaturanga prep. Now, a great thing to do is to pay attention that how the energy shifts in from our plank to our chaturanga. So instead of pulling my hands towards my knees and my knees towards my hands, I'm actually trying to shift them both away from them, both away from each other in my chaturanga. So think about pushing the hands towards the top of the mat as you are coming forward with those shoulders, right? Keeping the hips in line with the shoulders, and try not to let yourself go too low. So it can be challenging, right? But push those hands and come forward. Let those elbows come back, and then push back. We're going to do that 3 more times. Inhale, pulling forward, finding that length. Exhale, finding that ground. Using that ground, that structure, that support to push you back. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, push back. And one more. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, push back. So now you have the option to come all the way into your plank. Remember, you can stay on those knees. Deep inhale. Pull everything towards each other. And then exhale. Find that chaturanga, right? Remember, you can always come down to those knees. From here, we're going to take another little break. Let the forearms cross in front of the forehead. Shake out the shoulders and shake out the hips. All right. From here, we're going to come into our upward facing dog. So go ahead, taking those hands below the shoulders. You may choose to take those hands a little bit further out to push up. This is going to depend on the flexibility of that lower back and how this feels. Often this feels great, so just be mindful of your body and what it's capable of. Keep the top of those feet on the mat, pressing firmly into the palms of the hands. We lift up. Those shoulders or those hands typically stay underneath the shoulders. Remember, you can take them a little bit further out. We try to keep the elbows soft. We try to draw the shoulders down so we can keep that chest expanded so we can breathe in, right? Now, when we breathe in, we find more length, right? And then when we breathe out, we pay attention to all the parts of our bodies that are touching the mat, that are rooting down through the ground, finding roots, deeper roots each time, more support each time so that each inhale we can find more lift. More length. Inhale. And exhale. And one more. And this time we're going to push back to our child's pose, y'all. Great job. Slowly come all the way up. So it's a little bit nice to be able to have a little time in each of the poses of the sun salutation so we can learn how to utilize our energy to maximum efficiency, if that's even how I want to use that terminology. But it is a beautiful thing when we can learn to maximize our energy in our practice. But it's also about accepting where we are in the process, right? So we want to be able to root down and ground, but that doesn't mean that we have to sit there and focus on every little thing at the same time. So be mindful of where your body is today, coming down to the knees, paying attention to the breath, because in each pose, we want to be able to breathe deeply. We're going to go through that sun salutation one more time. So you can use the tools you just learned, maybe some of the tools you just learned, remember, maybe not all of them. And then we will come into a few other things before we finish up for today. Coming all the way into your downward facing dog. Inhale to step forward. And then bow to the legs here. Rooting down through the bottom of those feet. Inhale, reach it up. And then exhale back to center. So remember, we are rooting down to the bottom of the feet. As we inhale, we are finding more length. Inhale, reach. As we exhale, we're finding more stability, more support as we fold forward. Inhale, more length. Exhale, step back, rounding. I like to take a deep inhale here, more length. Exhale, more grounding. Inhale, opening up, more length. Exhale, more ground. 3 deep breaths here, honey. More length with each inhale. Exhale, rooting deeper. 2 more. And last one. Exhale, soften those knees down to the mat. This time, take the feet a little bit further apart from each other. And I'm going to invite you to come here. And we are going to come into our child pose, but our knees are going to be a whole lot further apart from each other. And allow your forehead to rest either on your thumbs or a block here if your thumbs are if that's a little bit too challenging, right? But we allow ourselves to come here and breathe deep. Find that special spot, don't be scared of moving around to find where it feels good. Sometimes it takes a little bit of balancing out to find that spot. Again, practicing with each inhale, you find more length. Find length through the back of the head, length through the spine, length through the shin bone, length through the belly. Maybe we find a little more space in between the hips to dive into. And as you exhale, you root down through the shins, the knees, the tops of the feet. Root down through the palms, through the forehead, the forearms. And slowly releasing those hands. And walk those arms out a little bit further. Kind of shake it out a little bit if that feels good. And then slowly come all the way back up. We're going to find our way back to a mountain pose. And we're going to come into Malasana. That'll be our last pose for the day. All right, our garland squat. We might want to face the long side of the mat, and we might want to have a rolled up blanket to put underneath our heels. Because a lot of times when people start coming down, the heels want to lift up. All right, and so you try to bring the feet hip width apart. You might need to turn those toes out a little bit, but try to keep the toes straight if that feels good as well, and figure out which of these works best for you. We push the hips back, the knees splay out, and the arms come to the inside of the thighs to help press them apart from each other, and then the thighs in turn press in to them. For you, if you are further out apart from each other, actually being able to use that, it might not be as easy. So you might actually have to take the hands apart from each other and utilize pressing and pulling, pressing and pressing in both directions in a different way, right? Using the hands versus the forearm, the triceps. So coming down, finding your Malasana, the version that works for you. The hands come to the inside of the legs. We try to press away. If that's not available, that's okay. Try to also keep the back long here, reaching the crown of the head up, rooting down through the bottom of those feet. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. 4 more. Last deep inhale. And then we're going to go ahead and exhale. Take those hands down and shift those hips back up. Turn those toes back to face forward. If you had to take them to turn out a little, bring the legs back towards each other. If you had to separate them a whole lot. Allow yourself to find that forward fold. Grab onto those elbows. Let them weigh the upper body down. And then we're slowly going to find our way to our bottoms. And then roll all the way onto our back. Cross the right leg over the left and gently press firmly into the inside of that right thigh. Release the right hand and drop the right leg down. Take the left leg up. Gently press into the inside of that left thigh. Releasing that left hand, uncrossing the leg. Now from here, the back side of the body is all pressing into the mat, right? The bottom of the feet, the back of the shoulders, the back of the hips, the palms of the hands, the back of the arms, back of the head. Allow yourself to pay attention to this. And the only thing that I'm going to ask you to do is allow yourself to breathe this in. As you breathe, think about finding more space, right? More space in the spine. It doesn't actually have to happen. You might feel that you can shift and find a little more growth here. Maybe not. But allow yourself to imagine that your body is growing longer. And then as you exhale, feeling yourself root down deeper, finding more connection. Maybe you sway those knees from side to side. Maybe you shake out the shoulders a little bit. More grounding. Imagine the back of the neck getting longer. Imagine tension being released through the shoulders to help them come a little bit closer to the mat. Now from here, I'm going to tell you to take the shins to face the sky. Take the hands to face the sky. We're going to do something called dead bug. So I want you to just shake it all out like you were a roach that just got sprayed. And you can like really feel your dying kind of mentality, right? You're shaking it all out. And then just release it all down. Let the legs come down to the mat. Let the arms come back out, the palms facing the sky this time. Shake out the shoulders, the hips, the head. And with each inhale, you find more space. Maybe the arms can lengthen a little bit further out. Maybe those legs can find a little more length, right? The back of the neck. With each exhale, we find more grounding. So imagine you are lying in the most beautiful field or the most beautiful beach, completely on the ground. Maybe there's trees surrounding you, moss underneath you. And as you breathe in, imagine that you are breathing in the energy of this space, this memory, this mindful memory of where you are, this most sacred space, the beautiful world we live on. With each inhale, you are pulling in and up through the body. Every part of the body that is touching the ground is using the space beneath. With each exhale, you are rooting deeper, finding more space. With each inhale, you are finding more growth. Imagining that you are like a tree. So with each exhale, you're finding more roots, you're finding more nourishment. And then with each inhale, that nourishment comes through. It comes through, up through the trunk, up through the branches, out through the leaves. finding that foundation and finding that space. Continue to breathe with me here. Slowly we'll begin to bring ourselves back, wiggling the fingers and the toes, rotating the hands and the feet. And then bringing those knees up and letting those knees sway from side to side. When you're ready, you'll roll to the right side of the body. And allow yourself to find stillness here. And slowly bring yourself all the way back up. Back to a comfortable seated position. Taking your time to get here. Allowing yourself to sit tall and strong. Reaching the crown of the head to the sky. Aligning the shoulders over the hips. And then we'll bring those hands back together. And we will prepare to finish our class. I'll end our class with 3 ohms. You are welcome to join. I'll start with a deep inhale, exhale, beginning on the second exhale. You can inhale with me now. Exhale. Inhale for Om. Namaste. Thank you.